It's not something you can just kind of forget about, really.
The Harry Potter team went through a ton of tissues when they were filming the intense moments from the series, like the passing of characters, torture scenes, and a very special moment on just the second day of filming. Let's dive into these 15 scenes that were the most emotional for the actors to film, and often for us to watch. Number 1. Say It Ain't So, Sirius. We were devastated just watching Sirius Black's untimely death, so it's no surprise Dan Radcliffe faced his own struggle when it came time to actually film.
I always loved the character of Sirius. I love the relationship Harry and Sirius have. He's like this cool uncle, but also older brother.
A combination of emotions made it difficult, but the fact that the actor had recently lost a family member made the whole moment that much more painful to go through.
The character's death just comes so out of the blue as well.
And it was obvious in Radcliffe's chilling scream that was just so haunting, they couldn't even include it in the movie. Number 2. Being tortured on set is no fun at all, so no one can blame Emma Watson for having a tough time filming the scene. But she wasn't the only one moved by her performance.
It was very intense to film. I was actually surprised by how affecting I found it.
Crew members were left extremely disturbed witnessing the painful and intense acting. Watson got so caught up in it, she had no idea how long she'd even been performing for. And David Yates had to cut the actress off, even though Emma wanted to keep going.
By the end of it, I was a bit of a state. I couldn't stop crying. It's quite hard when you get yourself into something like that.
2 minutes of screaming pretending to endure torture isn't fun for anyone. Number 3. It may not be a scene per se, but their most recent time on set brought about a whole lot of emotions. Are we surprised?
It's been lovely to see everyone. It really has.
Being back to reflect on all the memories and visit those spaces that held so much, we're not sure they could have planned for enough tissues on set. We're thinking the filming process was a total tear fest.
It's just been a joy getting to relive it all.
We get the chance to hang out with each other, which has been a real privilege.
Number 4. Wait, right now?
Keep thinking kind of next year we'll be back, but we really won't, and it really is the end.
Poor Watson and Grint were struck numb when they heard the team call a wrap on their final scene.
But I feel like I've blocked out the memory because it was almost like too much.
After so many years, taking a moment to acknowledge the fact that they wouldn't be playing their characters anymore led to a whole lot of emotions.
We were the chosen one, yeah. Yeah, we were.
For the always strong and sharp Hermione, the tears were unexpected but very warranted, and she definitely wasn't alone in feeling that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss kind of playing Ron.
Number 5. Once Bellatrix was done, it was a wrap on the character and the actress.
Big thank you to
Bellatrix's sudden end filled the actress with grief, even though it was a pretty killer moment for Mrs. Weasley. Not only did her character pass away, but it marked the end of her time actually filming. Talk about finality.
I've got very attached to Bellatrix. She's been a friend to me.
Number 6. Reliving one of the most heartbreaking tragedies over and over again for a camera is not easy work. Oliver Phelps was totally overwhelmed having to go through watching his twin pass away take after take, that after just 3, the team actually had to move on. The whole Oliver and James actually being twins factor definitely made the experience more intense. We were in tears and we aren't even related to them. Number 7. On the other end was James, who, while he didn't have to witness his brother hurting, he did have to go to a pretty dark place himself. A surreal moment is what he called it. The fact was, while Phelps himself was fine, the character he'd played and loved for years was gone. I feel like a really close friend has died. It was obviously a pretty exhausting day since the actor actually fell asleep in the end anyway, not even waking up when everyone finished and cleared the set. Number 8. How do you just stop playing the role you've carried for a decade?
I love this place. This has been my life.
Harry was in the last shot of the day, and as soon as they called wrap, the actor almost instantly began crying.
There'll never be a frame of any of these films that I don't look at and connect immediately to a memory.
Those tears kept flowing through to the wrap party.
I don't know what my day-to-day life consists of without you, all of you.
And after that speech, we doubt there was a dry eye in the house. Number 9. The Room of Requirement has seen plenty of tears. There were quite a few shed by Ivana Lynch after her final scene in there. I cried on the last day because it was epic. It was a bit of a full circle moment for the actress to film that scene. I felt like I'd started on the Room of Requirements scene, and that was like a learning curve, and you learn magic, and then we left, and we go out into battle, and I felt it was so symbolic. Okay, yep, we're crying again. Number 10. Okay, so there weren't full-fledged tears, but this Malfoy got awfully close. Filming the glimpse of the future we see caught Tom Felton right in the feels, especially since he got to perform it standing next to his girlfriend at the time, Jade Olivia.
Kind of like bittersweet goodbye.
Even though it wasn't his final scene, the actor knew it would close off the series, so no doubt that meant a whole lot of pressure came with it too. That wasn't the toughest though. Seeing Harry all grown up was actually what did it for Felton. There was something really nice about seeing Daniel with his kids at the end. I really thought Daniel did a marvelous job being older. I got a bit emotional about that. Number 11. Before, during, and after, the whole day was an intense ride for Gary Oldman. The Order of the Phoenix set saw some pretty heartbreaking moments, including, of course, Sirius's heartbreaking end. Pacing around beforehand, getting into character, and mentally ready for the scene was tough because in rehearsals, Oldman had never really felt the moment turned out quite right. Wanting to do justice for the iconic scene made for a completely overwhelming and emotional time. He wasn't going to fake it, and luckily, he didn't have to. This scene always gets us. Number 12. Married with kids and back where it all began. A beautiful and heart-wrenching time.
It was very sad, and it was kind of quite strangely emotional.
Bonnie Wright was totally overwhelmed when she had to film the epilogue of the movie, as so many others were. Number 13. One very special actor had just one day on set, appearing in a scene that didn't even make the cut, but it was an extremely emotional time. The young actor was actually a guest on set. Little Jay had come to visit and really wanted to be in the movie. As soon as Alan Rickman heard the wish, he went full Snape mode, commanding that Jay be part of the film. Only his back actually makes a short appearance in the final cut, but the memory and gift given by Rickman meant the world. Number 14. He may not have been in the scene, but director Chris Columbus played a huge role in these actors' lives, so in a way, he kind of was part of the scene. Watching the young trio film their first farewell, a gem of a moment, moved Columbus to tears on what was just their second day of filming.
We knew we were on to something with Dan, and that's day 2 of shooting. Those are the kinds of surprises you got from kids who had not been on a film set before.
It clearly didn't take long for the director to know they had something special on their hands. It's also an adorable scene. Gets us right in the feels every time. Number 15. This was one ending that brought on double the tears. Literally, the epilogue scene, an emotional one for everyone, was actually shot twice because the whole crew became too overwhelmed filming the first time around.
I think we just pushed ourselves too far, too quickly to get that all done at King's Cross.
There were a few factors at play here. They were all super emotional to begin with and had the pressure of trying to capture what was needed in a very limited amount of time.
I think we made it very hard on ourselves.
We get emotional just watching them. We can't even imagine how hard these moments must have been to witness and experience up close. We need more tissues ASAP. Anyone else?